3 times the charm, everybody. We try to load into the map once again. Amazonia, will it finally work now? Guess that is the case. It kind of looks like it, but we've been this far 2 times. Now it seems okay. Good luck, have fun, and yeah, to all of you out there, have fun as well. This is probably gonna be epic, but when we just judge this from the group stage, have you ever seen Happy this dominant against players like this? Like, compare it to DreamHack Winter, where he was constantly dropping 2 maps to the best of 5s. Group stage, not a single flaw.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't see his whole group stage, right? We didn't see the game against Juan because he was the big favorite there and got the win. But yeah, that match against Vortex was pretty scary. Dude, he really destroyed him hardcore. That was because Vortex wasn't really ready, so we only saw 1 series there out of him. But thinking back to the fall, to the winter season, yeah, we perhaps were expecting the players to put up a bit of a better fight. That is what Foggy's task is going to be now, to certainly at least make it close. But we were talking about this yesterday, off stream as well. We were like, oh boy, if Foggy doesn't put down another notch and steps it up, he is possibly gonna get slaughtered by Happy, because with Happy, you know, he's never gonna have an off day.
Exactly, and of course it comes down to the items as well. Here on a... Oh, no lightning shield! Foggy, what's up there? Oh, this series starts off real bad. Can he trigger it again? Yeah, finally. But this is already a little bit of a win for Happy as he gains 1, 2, 3, 5 seconds and delays the progress of the Keeper. On the other side, he's waiting for his DK, so he can't do too much about it. Here on this map, Happy has lost ghouls to creeps. Speaking of no flaws in his games ever, that was of course an ESL Cup, and maybe he took that a little lighter, and it was at the early stages of his ghoul transition. He probably shut down these mistakes.
Tiny mistake here, if you will. Happy didn't get the lightning shield. Well, actually, I think that was a Wisp Detonate. DK is super low on mana, so must have been a Wisp Detonate by Foggy coming in here early to slow down Happy and to make sure that this creeping isn't happening too quickly, where the Keeper got level 2 right away with some very unfortunate items. That is HP and armor. Later good for a second hero, but pretty useless for the Keeper right now.
Gloves of Haste, of course, will be nice for a certain Lich that's coming up. If we take a look at the map order, Amazonia first, it's quite interesting to me that it is Foggy's pick, because the past 2 times he lost that, and Happy seems so strong here. So Foggy must have a clear game plan. I think Echo Isles is the map that Foggy absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, has to win, and that is coming up a little later afterwards. But he shouldn't be too floored if he loses the first one. That is acceptable, so this is not, for me at least, not a must-win map for Foggy.
Yeah. I think it was Happy's pick though, Amazonia, if I saw that right. But anyways, last hit here now goes to the DK. And that's going to be big experience for him. It's a race towards level 3, especially the Keeper with the Entangle there becomes really strong. Pump faking the coil, but Foggy's on point. He's not going to get surprised and tricked by that. The Archer's creeping in the meantime. Keeper safely making up to level 3 and perhaps going to go for a bit of a run-by into the backline towards the Acolytes. That would be quite reminiscent of a good old Sonic, but no. Foggy is going to show a little bit more restraint, and he's not going to dive too deep.
I just got level 3 there, so I wonder if he has level 3 2 seconds earlier. Will he go for that base? But he had no staff. Happy takes the staff, so less mobility on Foggy's side. Murloc creep here as well. That poisons everything a little bit, but of course we know the Blight will work against that. Foggy is coming in again. He is showing presence on Happy's side of the map. There's no Dispel yet. He's going for the Entangle, wants to keep the ghouls low. Ooh, almost the last hit on that Murloc, but it is level 3. With that, a little bit more mana, with that the coil, and with that no kill. At the same time, the Keeper is distracting from the fact that Foggy is again going for an expansion play.
Yeah, on AZ nowadays, that is pretty obvious it's going to be happening in this position. Keeper takes out 2 ghouls over here. Should probably be denied on the second one, the experience. Yep, but still 2 ghouls have fallen. This, of course, the downside of playing ghouls against the Keeper. They can die very quickly, but I guess the benefit is it doesn't hurt as much to lose a ghoul as it would to lose a fiend. Is that what we're going to be seeing from Happy? Is it going to transition into fiends, or is it going to be the gargoyles after all? Seeing that there's no second crypt, it seems like we should be going into Fiends here soon.
I agree, and Foggy, as I said, same game plan. He was a master in defending this expansion, which is the first check mark he has to do in a game. Get the expansion up, defend the expansion, and then go to tier 3. He puts down Moonwells there, he puts down APs there, he puts down Engines of War, sometimes even a shop to get potions during the defense. And Happy tried to counter this with a Tinker, not too long ago, but that didn't really work. Oh, that wasn't a deny here. And that's 2 more ghouls dropping down, thanks to the one ghoul being hurt from the creeps and the second one being entangled.
Yeah, and in fact, the third one was denied to the creep, so it's 5 ghouls dead in total. Keeper didn't get much of the experience there, but still 5 ghouls died. That's definitely painful. Happy will oftentimes go for a greedy creep route, willing to sacrifice units for it, and here he did that again. But it seems like that perhaps was a little too expensive, but we'll see how it works out. Beautiful scout in the middle, sees the DK arriving. Normally Happy wants to harass the expansion, the creep up there of Foggy, but the Lich isn't in time to harass, and the Keeper is trying to distract from the Northern Gold Mine.
Okay, looking good so far. After a little bit of a hiccup, getting onto Amazonia. On Amazonia, it looks okay. Lich is of course going to be a weapon with the 2 gloves, but Happy is nowhere near ready. He only has 5 ghouls remaining. There's already 4 archers. The Engine of War is in position. Foggy has a Shredder, and the Expo is certainly going to finish soon. It's Engines of Lores, it's a Demon Hunter second, and the burns are going to be really good for Foggy.
Keeper Demon, that is the super successful combo. This is the Happy Killer build. Keeper in the early to control the map at the beginning, and the Demon Hunter to solve the late game for the Night Elf. Also both very good Orb of Venom carriers. With this mid-game map control that you get from this strategy, normally the Night Elf tries to expand, which of course also we saw here. Because of this combo, the Keeper Demon, Gargoyles have been becoming more and more popular again, because Keeper Demon is strong, especially dealing with heroes, dealing with fiends, but what they don't have is AoE abilities, which means ghouls and Gargs can be very strong. But Happy isn't going for that. He's going for the standard Slaughterhouse and statues. Oh, I think he has double Slaughterhouse though, so seems like A-bombs and destroyers are going to be on the menu there.
Okay, a little bit of an adjustment for Happy. Could also be a meat wagon maybe if he sees that Foggy is going heavy Dryads, which seems to be the case. Demon Hunter level 2 and a bit is going to get him close to 3. He has no TP, he has no staff, so I really hope for Foggy that he's able to move back to the 12 o'clock position before Happy strikes. Mental of Intelligence, once again, not the greatest, but he's using a lot of entangles on that Lich to keep him low. You don't want to start a push with either low mana DK or an already hurt Lich, so this seems to be a newish play by Foggy. Of course, he has played that roaming Keeper of the Grove before, but paying so much attention to that Lich is interesting.
Yeah, and he's doing this wonderfully. He's making good use of the Moonwells, of the staff. He's scouting very well with the Wisp, crucial to get those 3 ghoul kills earlier, and he's slowing Happy down so much. Happy's army is going to be strong soon with destroyers, A-bombs, and maybe meat wagons, but at the moment it's very weak. The creeping is very slow. The Demon Hunter now joins in with that Telestaff. How cool is that? He's got double Telestaff, by the way, looking for a kill on the Lich, but there's going to be another coil, keeps him safe. But again, no creeping for the Lich, no creeping for the DK. Under hero levels super low, and Happy in a rough spot. This is pretty much a picture-perfect game by Foggy, and perhaps a few slight mistakes by Happy.
Fascinating how Foggy finds the 3-3 and puts on pressure now. Usually, when he got the expansion up, he fortified it and he was waiting, he was sitting. Oh, I was about to say, swap that staff, please. He did. Foggy was sitting on that expansion and he was doing the Morpheus move, like, come at me, I'm ready for you. This is very, very different. This is way more aggression, and sometimes aggression is the best defense.
Great game by Foggy. This is also a strength of Amazonia. Night Elf can level very well, especially with the Keeper, and then be everywhere on the map to punish the opponent when they're trying to catch up in levels. I think the mistake, by the way, from Happy this game was using too many coils to creep, being too low mana, and then not being able to save the ghouls well enough, especially the 2 ghouls outside the main. And that really does hurt over time.
Look at this, could be a very dangerous creep jack here. Mana burn on the DK, there's no coil anymore. He's trying to do it with a counter focus, but there's 2 heal scrolls. One is gone already. Staff is on the keeper, but the hero focus turns around. We're going for the DK here. Happy might be forced to town portal out from his front yard to the main base, switching the focus to the Lich now as there's no coil. And Foggy seems to be super ready for the Emperor. Lich in trouble, Lich getting chased, has an invo potion though. Is he forced into that? The TP was his 30 HP, but the rest of the army, what can he do now? Is he able to snipe a couple of ghouls? He's retreating though, disease cloud spread, and Happy getting away with the black eye, aiming for a surround maybe, but the Demon Hunter without boots actually, which is a corner he's cutting, is able to escape. Ding ding ding, round 2.
Happy still with a TP, that's very important. He can continue to creep somewhat greedily now. These A-bombs very hard to take out. There's going to be one more coil. Lich healed up again. Demon Hunter very hurt, and as you said, the disease cloud is ticking and ticking away. These Dryads are dropping really low HP. There's no heal scroll for Foggy anymore. Foggy's going to have to fall back despite his supply lead.
Wow, crazy. Okay, big mana potion. The Happy item hack is online and working. He gets so many of these consumables. It's unbelievable, but he also creeps a lot of spots. But yeah, his inventory again, scary. This now is a little reminiscent to me of that one game on Amazonia between the two where Foggy had the obsession with the Lich. Remember this? A viewer of ours counted the damage that was thrown at the second hero of Happy, and it was in the 5 digits. More than 10,000 damage thrown on the Lich, but Happy was able to keep him alive over and over and over again.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to tunnel vision too much. The Lich now pretty strong, almost level 3. The DK level 4, very important level for the level 2 aura. Foggy, you know, with the expansion having been up and safe, there was a window for Foggy to transition to a stronger tier 3 army, but he decides not to do it. He's staying on tier 2, massing only Dryads. These are decent units, fairly good in the mid game, but they fall off like a brick. It's going to be really problematic for Foggy. This next attack may have to kill Happy unless Foggy will finally decide to go for the tech. It seemed he was faring so well before with Dryad expansion into tier 3 mountain giants. I'm really baffled that he's not doing it again.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really get it either, but okay, we continue brawling. Wands of Illusion, we have 2 heal scrolls and 1 staff. No orb, of course, that was the big weapon in the fights prior. Lots of attention to that destroyer. Happy saves it to the right-hand side, and that is a lot of damage. Once again, thanks to the disease cloud. Foggy just blind of rage going for that destroyer, gets it in the end. Lich is saved, he had to choose. What's he gonna save? The Destroyer or the Lich? And of course you decide to go for that Lich because he has the orb. Next coil arrives, and that's now no mana anymore for Happy. Also no potions, he used that before. Keeper is in trouble, forced into a TP maybe, as there is a surround. Foggy with the TP, invo potion triggered on the Lich again. And surprisingly, Foggy didn't lose much and caused quite some trouble here. Shredder might be taken out though.
Everything was disease cloud up again though. And this was scary for Happy. He didn't have statues on the ground anymore. The invo was about to be gone on the Lich and the DK was out of mana. If he doesn't force the TP there, perhaps he's going to be in real trouble. But out of nowhere, Happy finds the option to buy more space for himself with a surround that I wouldn't even have seen in the midst of this battle, but Happy keeps the overview. And now Happy is drawing closer and closer in supply against an opponent who's still stuck on tier 2 only. Looking at the production, 2 meat wagons coming.
Yeah.
And that is bad news for these Dryads.
Called that. Okay, that is a lot of open battleground here, so maybe you can run around the army. Foggy did that twice already to chase a Lich and to chase a Destroyer. Maybe you can do the same to kill the meat wagons. There's still ghouls on the ground. Foggy going for the ziggurat here, diving a little deeper. Only 1 heal scroll instead of 2 this time. Nova on an illusion.
Yeah, these illusions have been really good. I think that happened in the previous fight as well. Disease Cloud still ticking and ticking away. Heal scroll used on Foggy already. He's got the double staff, but no more heal scrolls left. Demon Hunter in trouble as well. Staff, of course, reserved for him. Trying to delay it as much as he can, using it now. Demon out of the fight though. How good is the Moon Juice? I don't think that good. He just used a ton of it, and the Demon Hunter is super low HP. He can't heal up. Foggy has to fall back. Happy has held, established his expansion, and finds himself with a massive tech lead.
Foggy's obsession with the heroes is biting him again. Now time for plan B. Now time for the tech, but he needs to buy time. He's going for bears, wants that reju, but there's 2 destroyers in the air already who can dispel that. A little bit of raw, of course, nice to have as well. The major thing, orbs and mountain giants. Happy almost maxed out already. Is he ready for the push, or is he just sitting on his expansion? Because he was the one expanding later. His mine will be dry later. So does he have to push even?
I really don't think he does. He could just buy a TP, creep the red camp. He knows he's going to be very strong in the late game. He hasn't checked out Foggy's main in a long time, so he doesn't know the tech timing like we do. The only thing Happy is afraid of right now is Chims out of nowhere, which is why his gargoyles are making a lot of sense. 2 gargs just came in, and more will be coming soon once there's lumber for Happy. Lumber is actually the real problem here for the undead.
He did use almost all his ghouls. He now bought a shredder, which is a rare addition to an undead, because usually ghouls, especially with frenzy, give you a lot of lumber for techs. And speaking of techs, there's not a single attack upgrade for Happy. There's not a single unit upgrade for Happy. Usually he queues them super early, rather attack for fiends, of course, but it would be nice for A-bombs or wagons as well. Now the Happy push. Foggy is not at tier 3. Foggy is at 70 supply. Got a heal scroll, got an invul. The red spot item wasn't too great. Medallion of Courage, a little bit of tankiness, I guess. Maybe swapping it over to the Keeper, who still has not reached level 4. Happy is falling back though, giving Foggy some more time, and that could give Foggy the first orb of this game.
It's going to be a big bonus in damage. Should be on the Keeper first as a ranged hero, and then later the second one on the Demon Hunter. Double orb certainly going to be nice.
Well, Happy is hitting that timing as it seems. Demon Hunter trying to find some distraction, just holding on these important seconds. He's right next to the shop as tier 3 finishes. Ooh, there was a nuke. Dodged it with a stab. But yeah, aiming for this expansion. Is there Nature's Blessing? Yes, there is. Thank you, Foggy. The first orb is ready, but it's on the Demon Hunter. The Demon Hunter is not part of this. Where's the repair? The 2 meat wagons. He has to go for them immediately, but the Abomination to the ghouls, they're still doing a lot of damage. And Foggy, just like that, losing the expansion, and Happy town portaling out immediately, only losing 1 meat wagon and a ghoul. Excellent push for the Emperor.
Yeah, wonderful trade for Happy. Foggy tried so long to break the enemy expansion, it did not work. Not the first time, not the second, and not the third. Happy tries it once, and he gets the kill. And he was already having a lead in this game, and now Foggy's looking to be in a desperate situation. His army is not good enough. This is way too many Dryads. This is not enough late game units. Foggy has missed the timing to transition into a powerful army when he needed to.
I agree. He's trying to go for the red spot. Happy is going for the north again. There is no expo. There is no expo at all. Foggy, thanks to that Tree of Life loss, is supply stuck, so he can't really make use of his tier 3 at all. Claws of Attack plus 12, of course, nice to have, but it's not an aura. Oh, he was so close already. He had such a big lead already. That stings. And of course, losing the 2 Moonwells and the shop here is also a little bit of regen. Shop stays up, so if he wants to later, he can go for MGs. Yes, looks like this is the time to fight. Foggy really doesn't want that. There could be a backup plan when the main basis expires, that it's in 2 minutes to move over the tree. But will Happy allow that?
Until then, Happy can grow crazily strong. He's going for more gargoyles. His only concern is still Chims. So he's covering his weakness. He's covering that option with the gargs, and is finally starting to get some upgrades. The first attack upgrade only now. Foggy already at 2-2, but if you're stuck on, what is that, 14 Dryads? Then even all those upgrades don't do so well for you. Dryads get countered by A-bombs and wagons really, really hard. Dryads, as I said earlier, a mid-game tempo unit, not what you want to have in the super late game.
Against Gargs, not too bad with critical mass, with the 2 orbs as well. Of course, there's no Panda AoE against it, but maybe it's gonna be enough, this poison build of Foggy. Invul Potion on Happy. No heal scrolls, and it's mostly gonna be single target damage. 1 invul on the Keeper, 1 heal scroll as well. Calm before the storm. Is Foggy able to hold this?
There's still a creep camp on the map somehow. How did that survive? One more big item to grab, maybe a few level ups. Happy close to 4 and 5 levels respectively on his second and first hero. Demon in the front line eats the Col Nova right away. He gives him all the strength he can for bonus HP, but the Demon again staffed out, and that's just so much damage. The coil's flying, and the disease is always spreading, with the disease ticking, and the statues in the back. Extended engagements are wonderful for the undead. And this Demon Hunter Keeper combo definitely was not able to finish the game when I guess they needed to. But it's not over yet. If he gets his tree over there, maybe there's still a way to do it.
The Dryad's taking so much damage. This wagon, an excellent addition to the army. Barely untouchable so far in the back. The Dryad, it's a good concave, but they're just shooting away, stacking up the poison damage on the Abomination. But there's a coil, and the A-bomb lives. In the meantime, Bears have to be staffed out. The Gargs reign supreme, also untouched here. Feels like the only thing that loses HP is Abominations, but they're not falling. Happy at 84 supply, going for more and more Gargs, who of course have piercing damage against Dryads as well. Happy has to take care of his DK. Okay, hero focus, name of the game for Foggy once again. Gotta be careful with these Dryads, not dancing with them at all. Can dodge some shots at the end. 10 supply difference. Happy was losing some resources. Still 2 base for the Undead against 1 base for the Night Elf. No transition behind this either, but now the last remaining spot on the map. Happy's gonna have a hard time to reach 5-5, but he gets his experience through the fights.
Yeah, that was a great fight for him. Only a single A-bomb lost there by Happy. Way better trade for him. A few more Dryads and Bears going down on the other side. And every time you have to take Disease Cloud into account. This matters after every engagement. But now Happy's mana is very low, and the Demon level 5 certainly strong.
Is that the game changer? We also have a big support item for Foggy, that is the Devotion Aura. Especially when you're up against a Lich, the Orb of Corruption does -4 armor. The Devotion Aura gives you 2 armor, so basically a 50% loss on the effect of the Orb of Corruption. Not really, but roundabout. Disease Cloud, man. And so many Abominations to spread the cloud, and maybe more importantly, the wagon in the back. He has to take care of that wagon somehow.
It's so hard to do, though. Ideally, you want to do that with heroes if you can. You know, Blade Master, for example. But for Night Elf, not very much doable. If he tries to dive back there with the Dryads, he's gonna get shredded by the Lich and the Gargoyles. And probably an A-bomb or 2. So it's really hard to properly micro these fights. Speaking of microing these fights, by the way, Happy is using the Gargs oftentimes as distraction. He's moving into the battle, and then he's pushing the Gargs forward, overextending them a little, trying to bait the Dryads to focus on the Gargs, follow in, and then he's going to have massive effect from the Disease Cloud. So some very advanced micro maneuvers by Happy, as of course we're expecting to see, as Happy is going into high upkeep, 87 supply, with 2 more wagons in queue. That might be the knockout punch.
Foggy has no gold anymore. He can't follow Happy into high upkeep. High upkeep was oftentimes what got Foggy the edge in their ESL Cup encounter with either Mountain Giants or Chimeras, but now it's the Undead. I wonder, do you have to cut the corner and skip Boots? Boots might be pretty good here in these late game fights as well. It's an Invis Demon Hunter going for the expansion, as of course the main bases are mined out. Expansion is the only source of income for Happy. Foggy's still waiting for that. Trying to distract, trying to buy time, but little indecisiveness moving back. Maybe just checking if Happy is sitting on his expansion or going for another push.
By the way, just real quick, as we take a snapshot of Happy's army, this encapsulates his new style. Big army with gargoyles, A-bombs, wagons. Not a single fiend in this army. Not a single fiend in this game here on map 1. Demon Hunter staffed out right away. He was next to the tree. He was able to heal up again there with the Moonwell, but could only do that once. In we go. Nova flies. Bears feeling the pain right away. That bear also gets staffed, but 3 wagons in the back. Look at that. Look at that disease spreading now.
Exceptional as always. Demon Hunter is trying to dive for the wagons, but the rest of the army is just saying, no mate, leave my cars alone. But the Bears are able to reach them now. Maybe Happy a little too much attention on the Demon Hunter. He wants to get rid of him. Doesn't want to face this mana burn anymore. Understandable, but in the meantime, the wagons can shoot away with Happy's exceptional micro. Foggy is dropping down to 50, and Happy is barely losing anything. He's not even focus firing at the wagon now. So the Night Elf heroes have to carry this, I guess. but that's such a tough job. Dryads all falling, he's down to 2, and the Demon Hunter won't survive this either. This is game 1, and this is the lead for the big favorite for the 3-time DreamHack champion. This is unwinnable for Foggy. He doesn't admit it yet, but he will in just a couple of seconds. Level 6, okay, Demon Hunter back, boom, coil info potion saves him for a bit, but what else? Wait a minute, it's only 50 supply left?
Yeah, but Happy is still mining, and the Keeper died. He was taken out. He can now eat the Gargs for more mana, and still a good force for Happy left. You know, Happy honestly lost quite a bit there, but Foggy lost way more. He's also going to lose that Demon Hunter now, trying to staff up, but it's not enough. Level 6 glitch towards the end. GG called. 1-0 lead for Happy.
Okay, that was an interesting one. That was the first time in this tournament that Happy didn't look super dominant, that Happy had problems, and we saw Foggy has new ideas. Foggy is prepared. Foggy is playing 3 tiers better than on the previous 2 days.
Yeah, thank goodness. If he was showing up here with his old shape, he would have gotten absolutely slaughtered. Here, he made very close. Very good early game by Foggy. Great creep route. Quick level 3, and Happy with just the tiniest of mistakes. He used 1 or 2 coils too many for creeping, and then suddenly he started losing 1 ghoul after the next. Perhaps after losing those 2 ghouls, Happy thought he had to take a risk. He goes bottom right and creeps there, and Foggy, so importantly, saw it with the Wisp, staffs in, and takes out more ghouls, and then Happy was in real trouble.
This was an early game where Happy lost 5 ghouls. This has to be Foggy's map, has it not?
That's also what I was thinking. Like, how much more of a strong early game can you expect against Happy? There's some units out there where maybe you kill a hero, maybe you kill 2-3 fiends, but that's never gonna happen against Happy. 5 ghouls in the early, that's as much as you can ever expect is gonna be going your way. So the fact that Foggy didn't win here doesn't bode well for the rest of the series. I think Foggy perhaps misjudged that game. The crucial moment in the mid-game/late game was when Happy was creeping the natural. Foggy committed to his big Dryad army and was pretty sure that he would be pushing in there, force Happy back, and not allow a counter expansion. But Happy was able to hold position there with only like 2 A-bombs or something, and with the heroes barely surviving. The DK got away on 100 HP. The Lich got away on 50 HP. Used the invul potion when he needed to, got the mana potion from the main as he kited back, comes back, and keeps position at his natural. The disease cloud is spreading, the Dryads have to fall back, and Foggy has lost his window.
Yeah, Happy was saving his heroes like a certain Silver Cup caster that I'm quite familiar with. It was, of course, excellent. But Foggy, I really hope he's not back to his obsession with undead heroes. It just doesn't work against Happy. I think the better approach was in the past to make his life a little easier by taking out the army first, especially the ghouls. He did that really well this game. Ghouls are easy to snipe, especially with Dryads and the Keeper if he's staying in the back, and with Entangle, obviously. But then he couldn't get this one Destroyer that was saved with 1 HP, actually, and the second one sacrificed a lot of Dryad HP for that as well. And later on, he couldn't get to the wagons anymore, so really hope that Foggy can take the next one, because the next one is what he has to win. It's gonna be Concealed Hill. Whole different ball game though. From the smallest map to one of the biggest maps, and we also have fountains. Does that enable Foggy to play Mountain Giants again?
Absolutely. If ever you land in the late game and you get to Mountain Giants with a fountain, absolutely wonderful. Also, against Disease Cloud, fountains for any unit, wonderful. So this is going to be something to be kept in mind for the late game. But Happy also has a few upsides here on Conceal compared to Amazonia. The map is much bigger, the DK can go creeping greedily much more easily, which suits Happy's style, and an expansion, an earlier one before tier 3 for the undead is possible. Move the ghouls to the bottom right, creep the natural with a DK in a couple of seconds. If the Keeper doesn't show up, that can work out pretty well. As I said earlier, Happy has been playing quite a bit of tier 1 and tier 2 expansions with his ghouls. As we said, he's not so predictable anymore.
But I hint towards that. Amazonia 2 times in a row. It seemingly always goes to Happy. If you want to win the series, you have to win other maps. You have to win this one. You have to win especially Echo Isles. Like, that is the ultra must win for Foggy. And then maybe maybe Twisted or LR. It's again a DK, it's again a ghoul build, it's again a keeper. The decisions will be made in the mid-game, probably what to do.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting here to, I think, follow especially Happy's perspective early on. Is he going to go just tier 3 and go into his statues and wagons again? Or is he going to try for the expansion? And that's also going to be crucially important for Foggy to figure out. His Wisp scouting will have to be on point, and he's going to have to be in the right place at the right time with the Keeper. And on Amazonia, that certainly worked out really well. But again, Amazonia, much smaller map, much easier to be in the right spot.
Browse of attack. That is a nice start into the game for Foggy. Oh, what? Aura first.
Interesting. For a bit more creeping, I suppose. It's a little bit more move speed. It's passive regen on the DK. If the Keeper shows up with Entangle, though, that could be some ghouls dying, potentially. And the Keeper is on the way, however. Treants first. He's creeping in the meantime at the green in the north, waiting for his level 2 to come up. But the DK is finished with that camp already.
Could have been the last hit for Foggy if he decides to go for the Berserker, but he wanted to do more damage on the ghouls. Of course, you don't really expect to get a kill there. Tech covered by this harass, and he still doesn't have the level 2. Now we got it. Tech at the same time for Happy, pretty much neck and neck. Oh, not all of the turtles, just a tiny bit of them. But the Keeper harass is not doing much except keeping the DK away from level 2, which of course keeps him from a coil.
Yeah, Foggy could go for a heavy Sonic play and just dive the base, use 175 mana, and kill one ghoul for it. But some people might say that's a little inefficient. So Foggy is not doing it just yet. As the night falls, I'm sure we're going to be seeing Staff of Teleportation soon, as well as Happy also continues to creep. We have the tech coming on both sides. No early expansion, of course, wasn't possible with the Keeper so aggressive this early.
Staff goes to Foggy again. That is for years, for 6 years, one of his favorite items. He destroyed Lin in his first Gold League with it, but what good does it do now? He can certainly staff out of surrounds, that's really helpful. He's probably not going to use it aggressively at the moment, but he's pulling his army closer to his Keeper to have more damage close to the Entangle.
And I wonder if Happy went for Aura first to kind of force himself to not fall into the same trap as AZ. His early game mistake was using too much mana. Now, Happy, 4 minutes in, has full mana DK. That is extremely rare to see. This is like a shiny Pokemon. This normally never happens. He's coming in for a steal. Long range coil. Connects. He gets the Kobe. And more experience prevented for the Keeper.
I was about to say, is he denying that skeleton? No, but he probably gets the Treant denies now. Yeah, this is a bizarro world when we compare that to Happy's usual creeping, where he's blasting through his mana pool, using the coils aggressively. Not anymore, not at all. Tier 2 techs are finishing. We still don't see a second crypt, so once again, no Gargs early at least. Good detonate.
Wisp saw the creeping of the ghouls here at the expansion, but Happy also, just a moment ago, saw the Keeper staffing away. So he knows he can't get down south too quickly. The Keeper is making his way there, but is that going to be in time?
First gargoyle coming. Okay, it's not mass Gargs, but then it's this anti-expansion Garg that, of course, when concealed is very, very good because you can creep the Drakes with them. But here's the Keeper. Here's some damage, but there's also a coil. Not trying to contest this over. Interesting.
Alright, so one ghoul only dying? Did we see that right?
Yeah.
It is wonderful for Happy, especially if he gets some return kills. He's got the level 3 DK. That's a level 2 coil that hurts already. And the Lich going to be joining in just a second. Second hero for Foggy is the Demon Hunter. And as we said, the weakness of this hero combo, Demon plus Keeper, is there's no AoE. And this time we are seeing the Gargs and probably quite a few ghouls with Frenzy later as well.
What we don't see is an expansion. Foggy is rushing tier 3. This is new.
Okay, going quickly into Mountain Giants. That is, of course, one way to deal with an expansion. Just pick up the sticks and kill the buildings. Some people may not believe this, but you can even kill Nerub towers with those.
We have an entangle on the Lich here. Good damage. Again, the point of attack for Foggy. 27 supply only though. AP in the main against the Gargs. Happy is really playing one crypt Gargs into Slaughterhouse.
Yeah, very interesting. I think Happy's fine with this though. He's got the tier 3. His heroes are pretty efficient. Oh, the Lich in trouble now. He might be dead. No, there's a mana potion perfectly when he needs it. Yeah, this Keeper doesn't scale well. And this Demon Hunter on level 1 is also super weak. It's starting to look a little bit problematic for Foggy.
I think he... like Foggy realized in his practice or in his theory craft that Lich early on is a liability and that can force more mana off of him. You don't want a Lich level 4 against you, and that's what he wants to prevent, and that is a lot of attention to him. Not too sure if that's the right call for now.
Again, we're going for the Lich. We have the... Oh, again, the blinders on. He's only seeing the Lich, but hey, he's actually getting the kill this time, finally. Foggy gets some momentary success. Takes out the Lich, level 1 hero down. But he's going to be back pretty soon. In the meantime, he lost 2 archers for that kill, so it wasn't free.
And he sees the expansion now. There's no Wisp nearby against the skeletons. DK is kind of hurt. He needs the damage, though. This might be a TP, but if he gets Lich and expansion, and he does, Foggy is definitely back in business, as his tier 3 is almost there. But he's going Bears.
With the Demon Hunter, it is very enticing to go Bears. That rejuve on him extremely valuable. We sometimes see going 50 supply, Bears Riots, and then jump into upkeep with Mountain Giants. That can also be viable. But yeah, Happy is stuck on tier 2, was for a long time. Tier 3 only coming in now, so that is severely delayed. But Happy on this map, with a couple of gargoyles, you can still creep very well at the fountains.
Yeah. Can you get both, though, is the question. Oh, Dryads also give a lot of experience, so that's the DK level 3.6. Lich needs to catch up. Is he going for the red spot in the middle to take that away from Foggy? No. It's just, yeah, the standard, I guess, going for the... Oh, we go for the second crypt. Going for the Drakes. That is an interesting situation now. Happy, is he switching to mass Fiends or is he committing to mass Gargs as there's no Panda?
Yeah, I think he's gonna stay on mass Gargs. As long as there's no AoE, you can be able to do that. Comes a lot down to the upgrades then. Who is stronger upgrade, the Dryads or the Gargoyles? The thing is also, the Undead can actually play only air. Only Gargs, Gargs, nothing but Gargs, and perhaps Frostworms later. Whereas for the Night Elf, it's kind of weird to only be playing Dryads. And Foggy, he has to figure out what kind of army Happy is building.
Yeah. There's a ghoul, by the way, in the bottom right. Thanks, Observer, for pointing this out. So Happy doesn't realize this 2 supply. We have to subtract from the total. Foggy is getting the middle. This can be the best item on the map. Will certainly help. War Song Battle Drums. Plus Roar, that's good damage.
Yeah, very good for him. Those Scourge Moonshimes, by the way, against Hippos would be good, but Hippos very unlikely. But if he transitions into A-Bombs, it's also going to be a very good item. As Happy continues creeping, Foggy continues creeping, and Foggy's gonna get 2 of the red camps. Okay, that is certainly very nice for the Ukrainian, who's already got the first orb. The second orb will be joining soon, and he's got 5 supply open, by the way. He could theoretically go for a third hero.
Remove the Magi, a little unfortunate, but yeah, what would be the third hero then?
Yeah, it's rough because no hero on level 1 is gonna be very good. If this was Twisted, a Panda third could make sense, but this is certainly not Twisted. There's not that much experience left here.
Ghoul Frenzy and Destroyer form coming. I really love that Happy is going for statues. Like, we see some players super dedicated to Gargoyles and then they don't go for the statues, which is arguably one of the best units that Undead has. Happy with multi-kill on the Wisps that were positioned on the right-hand side to just get away or hide from Gargs, but there's no hiding from Happy. So yeah, he's not overcommitting to Gargs, he's not going into a weird worm build like crafted before. Statues are a crazy good backbone.
Yeah, that is the regeneration over time that gives Undead oftentimes the edge in an extended engagement. We're sitting at 50 supply, no expansion yet. The map is getting soaked up, experience is looking pretty damn even. Happy with a slight lead, but not by much.
40k, excellent though. Entangle, is it enough? Or ensnare rather? Nope, Coil arrives, good save above the forest. So much mobility in Happy's army with the fast ghouls, with the air units of course, that is gargoyles. Makes it rather easy to save units.
Yeah, and Happy is using his mobility very, very well. He's bouncing from camp to camp. He's not losing anything or hardly anything. Every now and then he finds a couple of wisps. He's doing more damage there. And what do we get in the meantime? Nothing in production right now. They're just sitting, banking, saving.
Okay, Mr. Jack Johnson. We have 50 supply also at the max for Foggy. Happy is breaking upkeep now, so economically this is a little better for the Night Elf. We are facing 2 Crypt Guards now. They will get rid of a lot of Dryads very, very soon, and there's almost no stopping them for the Night Elf committing to Keeper and Demon Hunter. Now an expansion, and now the next Moonwell. Is it too late for that Keeper?
I was kind of worried.
Good. Is that expansion working against 10 Gargs?
Could definitely find the cancel if they were in the right spot, but they are not in the right spot. However, the question is if Happy flies up there with his full army, is Foggy going to be ready to defend? Because Happy did go into upkeep, and Foggy should have seen it. He should have seen all the production buildings spinning and making units. So it's high time for Foggy here to shoot up into upkeep as well.
Yes, he has to wait for the Moonwell. That's the 60 supply. Tree of Life will be the 70 supply, and then it should be enough. He's saving a lot of resources for the actual army while Happy continues to soak up the map. It's a rather uneventful game so far. There was one skirmish in the bottom right, but apart from that, not much more. This will change in just a couple of minutes. Buckle up, or moments rather. Buckle up for the late game. Close to level 5 DK, still no level 4 Keeper, which is actually good, because that was the attention given to the Demon Hunter, who now gets the level 2 evasion. Foggy jumping into upkeep. Was that in time? Absolutely not. There's no way. That expo is cancelled, and there's also no way he can fight.
One Dryad going down. There was a bit of damage put onto the Undead while he was taking out the expansion, but seemingly not too much. There's only a single Orb of Venom so far, not double, which is a lot of the damage the Night Elf has. A lot of the army is disappearing. The Shredder is gone already. The Ancient of War will be taken out next. Demon Hunter left alone until now. Coil Nova flying in, the nuke hurts, but the Demon Hunter has the big healing potion. With that, healing up once again, taking out the statue would be a big deal. That is the healing taken out for the most part of the Undead army. The statue, kill it with the mana burn, he gets it. The Demon in trouble again, but with his staff, gets away, dodges the coil, nicely done. Happy with the only slight supply lead remaining, but I guess he got what he came for. He killed the expansion, and he keeps this game on one base.
I thought this fight went horrible for Foggy, but the statue kill in the end, and I think there was another one, puts Happy back to 50. Expansion plans cancelled now. Should he play a game of whack-a-mole here, constantly try to expand in the upper left or the middle to keep Happy moving between them, and at some point one expansion will be coming up. Is that even possible against this amount of gargoyles? Happy should be able to multitask in a way that he splits the group of Gargs and scouts constantly. Maybe even a Shade would be a good idea.
True. He's got a lot of lumber to easily be able to go for that sacrificial pit. He's also really low on upgrades so far. We only had 1-0 before for the Gargs, now 2-0 coming in. Dryads, however, also only 0-1. Again, in the mass Gargs versus mass Dryads, upgrades are king. There is Thorn's Aura? What? Well, maybe earlier against the ghouls was the intention. Now we don't have too many of them left. Demon and Keeper staffing out. One Dryad didn't get the memo. That one's going to be sacrificed to the Undead Lord. But if the expansion finishes, it's a sacrifice well worth it.
Things are getting hectic here, everything happening all over the place. Level 5 DK, of course, wonderful with the aura to move around and the Gargs, so mobile. Yeah, Thorn's Aura. I don't know. I mean, if there's destroyers, Treants aren't really worth it, and they can't attack Garg, so what does that do?
Yeah, I suppose that's true. Whether it's level 1 or 2 Treants, it's honestly both pretty much useless. So is the other one, but, you know. With the Keeper, you gotta pick and choose between your useless spells.
I mean, Treants at least could have worked for run-bys and distraction and scouting. Thorn's Aura can't, but he can do that with 2, I guess. Yeah, this is not what will lose Foggy the game if he does.
Yeah, what he needs is a good defense at the expansion and a decently strong army. And I wouldn't mind seeing a second orb. Did you forget about the orb? He's got the gold for it.
Yes. Looks like it. 1 AP, right? Okay. Ah, he's waiting. There, I guess, for the second one. Is the cooldown off?
Yeah, it's been off for a long time. He's had that orb for many minutes now.
Yeah. Nope, no orb. Just dryads and APs and wisps. Trying to scout for the Gargs. Here they come again. Foggy was checking out Happy's expansion. He sees a third crypt.
And a third attack upgrade as well, by the way. It's gonna be a lot of damage coming in. This could be a blast from the past, like thinking back to 2007, where Undeads just waited for the gold mine to run out and then just go for one all-in. Normally not so much seen anymore nowadays, but Happy has old school roots himself, and well, that might be his late game strategy here.
Trying to poke, trying to get Foggy away from his expansion, but it's always a staff ready, and then they pull back. That enables the Gargs to do like 1-2 salves against the tree and the gold mine, but not cancelling it anymore. Foggy is protecting this with almost everything he has.
A little bit of experience for Happy here and there. His 5-4 levels looking good. Foggy behind by 1 level. Not that the level 5 keeper really would make much of a difference. Level 6 though would be pretty sick.
You know what? I wouldn't mind to see a second graveyard for more upgrades at the same time. Oh, Wisp saved. Foggy now on 2 bases. Happy knows at some point I gotta do something to take that away from him.
Is he really gonna wait to mine out? That's gonna be another, what, 4 minutes?
2.5, right?
Yeah, somewhere around there. A lot of time. It's a lot of time for Foggy to mine also. Issue is, Foggy's lumber is really low. Of course, understandable against mass gargoyles. He just coiled a treant. Alright, Happy.
Maybe a little angry that things are not moving fast enough. He wants to get back to streaming. Play is 4-4. And Foggy is drawing this out. 2,000 gold for Happy. He's sitting this out.
Happy's rich. He's got the trust fund. As we know from ESL Open Cups and many other tournaments, his bank account must be looking not too shabby. So he's doing a cosplay of that here. How long is he really gonna wait just for the main to run dry? What he could do is just wait for the main to expire, make 100 supply, attack, and expand behind. I think he might have enough resources for that.
I think so too. And he was checking out the expansion already. What's the answer to these Gargs? Oh my god, here we go.
8 Gargs queued.
I think it's more because he has triple.
Oh yeah, he has triple. Oh yeah.
Triple crypt and the slaughterhouse. So this is, I don't know how much. This is like 2,000 gold spent right here. And Foggy, he's stuck at 70. He wants to go up to 100. The Demon Hunter sees it. That's a great heads up for Foggy. But is that enough?
Yeah, maybe he should make more APs at the expansion. 2 more, maybe? Might not be a bad idea.
He's producing some wisps. It's just gonna be Dryads and Bears. No MGs. No third hero.
Alright. So it's gonna be like 20 Gargs.
Yep.
Against currently 12 Dryads. That is not enough Dryads.
There's a Demon Hunter and a Keeper as well?
Yeah, that's certainly going to come into play. A second Orb of Venom still would be very good, but I think Foggy just forgot about it, honestly.
Oh, that happened to him before, right? Where he forgot that, fortunately. Yeah, you can't go into Hippos. It's way too late for that. And also, if you have double crypt against you without an expansion for such a long time, you can't afford it. Like, that would have been the wrong call. Maybe a mountain giant or 2 to distract just for the taunt, but now he has no supply for that anymore. And of course, he didn't research the upgrades. Happy at 72. The arms race is going head to head, and Happy is expanding behind this as you suggested.
He's not gonna go all in. Oh, the demon!
Oh, it's nighttime!
Could cancel it. He could
Probably
cancel
didn't
it.
see that.
A player's forces are
Doesn't it have Ultra Vision? No, he does, but
does.
perhaps still wasn't close enough. I mean, honestly, it would only have been a delay of like, I don't know, 20 seconds. He would have.
Yeah, but it's 20 seconds, man. It's so close between them. Like, remember the ESL Cup? If a push happens 20 seconds later, Foggy is probably holding. If a push is happening 20 seconds earlier, Happy is probably breaking a base, so...
Yeah. And now, you know, there's going to be a crazy wild fight, dude. This is going to be so many units, 80 supply. It's going to come down to how well can you control your massive army. And Foggy's going to have to out-micro Happy. Good luck.
Foggy is going for TP. No heal scroll. Invis again and an invul. It's probably going to be single target damage in this massive fight. It's only 80 for Happy. It's not 100. Oh,
Yeah, I thought it would be getting higher, but, well, 80 it is, I suppose.
Standing behind it, sees the army coming, Demon Hunter turns around. One free mana burn, but it's only level 2. Tree of Eternity, part of this fight, blocks the way. Moonwells are gonna go down. This is probably the final and decisive fight of Concealed Hill.
Keeper on the wrong side of the tracks. What's he doing there? He's just gonna go down. Couldn't get saved. The demon wasn't in range for the staff. Massive mistake by Foggy. Not paying attention to his positioning. Awkwardly stuck behind the tree line. And now, without the keeper, there was enough experience going to the undead side, of course, as well. And these strides are just melting away. Oh my god, the supply is dropping. Sort of. On both sides, though, to be fair, he's trying to use this Tree of Eternity as an anchor. The Moonwells here are helping. Happy's fighting into tons of Moonjuice, but Happy doesn't care. These Dryads are just melting away. 3 attack upgrades on the gargoyles. 70 supplies still left for Happy. Level 6 forces the TP. The Demon Hunter is going to have to TP away towards the expansion, but can he even heal there? Well, yes he can. Lots of moon juice there. But massive losses for Foggy, and the Ultra are going to be falling now next.
Unbelievable mistake. This is never, ever, ever allowed to happen. What's the keeper doing there? No reason. He's not coming back from that altar. Has to go for the tavern, but then Happy says hello. First of all, Happy says hello to these Gargs, and Foggy, GG's out. Concealed goes to the Emperor, who has yet to drop a map in the DreamHack Regional Finals.
Very convincing towards the end. Pretty clear affair in the last fight, but before that, Foggy did a pretty good job on that map. You know, we can't just say he played horribly. Absolutely did not. Again, there was one big mistake, and Happy cuts your throat for it. That's how it goes. But he was able to delay the expansion that Happy tried to go for in Tier 2 for a really long time. He killed the Lich, he killed a couple of ghouls, I think he did, but at least, definitely he delayed the expansion, which was so important. Happy was stuck on Tier 2 for a long time, way longer than he wanted to, but on Concealed, you can creep with Garg still pretty well. And then Happy did a really good job preventing the expansion. On the other side, it went kind of back and forth, but at the end of the day, we had a massive fight, and Foggy didn't have the economic lead. It was an even fight, and then, you know, out-controlling Happy very hard, and if you misposition your keeper like that, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, true. This was an interesting game. We haven't seen a game like this before from these two players with this big of a stalemate situation. Things are picking up pace here because the next map is Echo Isles. The next map is very, very likely going to be a Warden map for Foggy. This is where he defeated 1-0 for the first time. This is where he defeated Happy for the first time. And this is where he concluded the ESL Best of 5 and took home the cup. Happy probably learned from that too, because if he decides that he has to change something, he's a quick learner, or he identifies his mistakes relatively early. So I wonder what is this going to be, Gargs again or not? Foggy against the ropes, but that happened to him multiple times. He's the boxing champion, and Rocky always fights back.
Yeah, Rocky has seen a lot of great comebacks. Is today going to be one of those days for Foggy? We hope that's at least going to be close. Echo Isles, smallest map in the pool, very easy, fast expansion. A lot of undeads out there nowadays love going fast expansion. Even Happy has been doing it fairly often. Not extremely often, but if there's a map to do it, it can be this one. And fast expansion can actually work out very well against the Warden. Get a lot of economy early and just overwhelm before the Warden is strong enough, if that is the choice by Foggy. But yeah, especially with their recent encounter in ESL Open Cup where Foggy won, I am also expecting the lady to be brought into the ring.
Everything else would be quite a curveball. 2-0 for the back-to-back-to-back DreamHack champion. Of course, he wants the fourth one. He wants the big one. Foggy now, a little desperate. 3 maps in a row against Happy. Is that possible? We'll see about that. He needs all your support. I think all the Foggy fans in the world are spamming the Froggy right now. Little bit of item luck maybe. Maybe a potion of mana, maybe some claws, maybe a pendant of energy. All the tiny things need to go his way, and maybe his obsession with the heroes have to go away as well. This is gonna be a wild ride. This is gonna be Echo Isles.
Happy on the left, Foggy on the right. Ancient of War at the green cap. That does not look like a warden opening. Unless he's gonna go for a second Ancient of War, which is possible, but not the norm.
Okay, yeah, you could go double Ancient of War, of course. It is a keeper. Big surprise. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know what caused this. Maybe the game against Kraft made him rethink this? Or he wants to stay with his anti-happy build?
Yeah, I must say, I prefer it. I still think the warden isn't very reliable. The keeper can be, if he's going to be a little more on point with his transitions, like we saw on AZ. The transition reluctance cost him the game on AZ, and on CH, it's hard to tell. We rarely see those games where Happy just banks on one base and then explodes into mass Garriks. Normally the way to beat Garriks is grab map control early for the Night Elf and expand first early on tier 2. Keeper, Demon, Dryads expand early, not late. That seems to be the best recipe to success, the most reliable one. But as we said, you know, Keeper Demon has a weakness to Gargoyle. So there's always a back and forth, always a dynamic, and always a counter to what your opponent is doing. Which, in Happy's case, is looking like a fast expansion.
Okay, Echo Isles in the DreamHack Winter Final. This was also Foggy's first pick, so maybe we shouldn't be too surprised to see the Keeper here in the past 2 encounters. Foggy is winning Echo Isles, and of course, I mean, the score is 2-0, he has to win this, but he knew that before. To have a chance in this best of 5, he must win Echo Isles. In the past 2 encounters, he won Last Refuge as well, which would be map 4. So buckle up, this series is not over. Foggy is not giving up before the last Wisp has fallen.
Waits for the detonate for the perfect moment. A little bit of Blight is still left. Ooh, almost gave up the last hit, but Happy gets it. Oh, okay, and the other 2 are still up for grabs. Happy wants to get all the experience here, and so far he was able to entangle as the first skill, not the Treants. Was that so effective? Wait a minute. Did he not kill anything with this Keeper here?
I don't think so. Happy was able to kill to coil 2 ghouls. The Ziggurat, of course, is missing. The Acolyte might die as there's no coils anymore, but it was a fairly one-for-one exchange, right? Every entangle triggered a coil, and since they basically cost the same, and they basically have the same mana pool, then that's no kills.
Second Ancient of War coming up at the middle. Wow. I've seen that from Foggy many times before. If he sees the early expansion and he opens up with Keeper, Foggy often goes ultra aggressive. He goes all in against it. It's very hard to hold against that style. Happy, if he knew about it, could just cancel the expansion and go teching. But Happy doesn't have a scout out. There's no skeleton anywhere. There's no Acolyte or Ghoul anywhere. He's pretty blind on the map, so this is hard for Happy now to make the right choices.
Yeah, Happy again, only focusing on himself, not too much else. Huntress coming. Sonic plays an excellent Huntress push with that. Maybe Foggy a little expired with that early aggression, but of course Moon has also towered and Huntress pushed the greatest undeads over in Asia, and I think that rather is the inspiration for Foggy, as it always has been. Early Ultravision.
Players' forces are under attack.
It's going to be very nice here during the first nighttime to have the vision advantage. DK now finally level 2, that gives the aura, and that makes everything so much easier for the undead. Keeper 1 kill away from level 2, but he's so low mana, it's not even like he can use a lot of Treants. Entangle is going to be more important. Oh, Wisps. I think I know what these are meant for.
Yep, this is going to be the AP push. Sonic, Moon, and Foggy himself have shown it before.
A town
Twisted
is under
Meadows,
siege.
man. It was a game 5 before, and he pushed Happy to the absolute limit with an AP push. He's getting his keeper surrounded. Has a staff though, of course. No disable on this. He wants to stay a little longer and calls for the TP. Was he not looking?
I think he didn't have the time. The staff was still taking a second, the DK was there, the keeper was low, a coil could have been his end. The vanilla surround by Happy buys him time, but at least the keeper's coming back in now with the staff and with the creep jack. Happy going for the mercs, but this should be a lot of ghouls going down and perhaps AP's coming up elsewhere, but I think Happy's actually scouting for that.
Coil missing, first ghoul down. Huntress, of course, with the glaive attack, killing off the second one. Happy barely has any mana left. Keeper is rising up, level 2.5. More wisps are coming. More hunts are coming. Wisps are coming from the north. They could detonate to keep the mana low and get rid of skeletons. They, of course, want to be APs as well. And here they come. The ending is supposed to save Foggy.
Fiends now beginning to come out. They, of course, do much better against these Huntresses, but are also susceptible to entangle. You don't want to get these hunts trapped. If you lose 2, that's going to be painful. But here we go. Hunts and AP. This is obviously ultra all-in by Foggy. This push has to work or he loses this game and is out of the tournament.
Exactly, and that would be another DreamHack without a Foggy in the final. We only saw him in winter. Usually, he's aiming for more. The first glaives are coming out as well. That would put some pressure onto the buildings and make things a little more interesting. 2 hunts to the side to take care of that Shadow Priest. That's good experience and no healing at the moment for the Russian.
Happy now fully established in his expansion. He knows that one is safe, so he can afford to lose a lot of buildings in the main, theoretically. But yeah, the AP is marching forward and the glaives soon to apply more pressure. Foggy needs to bring a lot of wisps here to have repair always ready, and I don't think he has that many here yet.
No Nature's Blessing either, of course, here. Glaives are finishing. Number 1 and number 2. 5 hunts. Pressure on the crypt now. If you could take out a production building, that would be incredible. Level 2 and a bit. There are a couple of wisps here, pointed out by the observer. Wonderfully done. If he takes out the shop, that's probably the best thing he can do to reduce... Oh, that was already... What was that? Ziggurat?
It was Ziggurat in the back that was cancelled. Yeah, the glaives now. All right. But also Fiends returning fire on the APs. Here he must repair, and there we go. Perfectly in time, 3 wisps come in. Very nicely done by Foggy. He's also got a shop coming in the back for clarities, I believe. This push is not looking bad for Foggy at all.
Okay, a little bit of a cheese strat coming in. 40 supply is the max, though. No Moonwell coming. The first crypt, he takes that out. And if he positions the keeper a little further to the south, he might intercept all the reinforcements that Happy tries to send in from the south to the north to his main base. Okay, that's a lot of building kills right here.
Absolutely. And with the entangle, you can threaten these Fiends as well. With glaive shots perhaps after, but no, the glaive's attacking the Ziggurats in the back, and those are taking a lot of damage, force a lot of repair. I'm pretty sure Happy is going to have to abandon his main here pretty soon.
He has no TP.
At least what it's looking like.
He has no TP anymore. So how is he getting to the south without crossing the Night Elf army, who has almost like half mana? There's going to be more entangles.
He's going to have to do like a turtle on the beach, you know, everything runs towards the water right away. You know a lot is gonna die. You know, the birds are gonna come in, the little foxes are gonna come in, some turtles are gonna die, Neo, okay? But you hope that some survive.
Yeah, I wonder what beaches you're on where foxes are strolling, but alright, you know beaches better than me, probably. Alta gone. That will, of course, prevent the tier 3 tech, which might be a saver, but he's rebuilding that one already, knew this would be coming up. Happy can still produce. He's very low on gold, though. First attack upgrade done. Foggy is going for more glaives. What's the way out for Happy?
Yeah, the problem, as you mentioned earlier, is he doesn't have a TP anymore. He sold it at the beginning. And Foggy is looking for that hero kill. He's not going to be satisfied with the Ghoul or a Fiend. He wants to kill that DK when he tries to evade. I think Happy knows he won't survive, but he's trying to buy as much time here for his tech in the south.
Can he break that
The
ziggurat
player's
that would
forces are
keep
under
Happy
attack.
Supply stuck at 40? But he's rebuilding everything in the south, and yeah, that has happened before. I saw Happy in an AP push like this against Foggy on Twisted. He was down to, I don't know, 2 heroes and shared 13 HP, and he somehow did it. That was against the Fire Lord, though, a little bit of a different situation, but the pressure is crazy.
There we go. The DK was trying to make the mad dash south, but Foggy's like, nah, no, my friend. You are not leaving this side of the map without first going to the afterlife.
Main faults, 25 supply, DK super low, next entangle coming. This might just be the end on Echo Isles. Foggy's #1 map against Undead. That's the DK. Okay, Happy, do you have more fighting spirit, or do you give this up and try to win the game on Last Refuge?
He can theoretically stabilize at the second base. DK bought back from the tavern right away. Keeper level 4, somewhat strong, but pretty much out of mana now. Doesn't have any more clarities at the moment. And I think a Lich should be coming at some point, or, oh, Happy didn't remake the altar at the expansion. That's a... I did. Okay, sorry. Didn't have the gold until now, but now the Lich is starting.
And the DK is, okay, still there. Of course, no mana. More... Oh, nice save here again with the Wisp into a tree. He cleans the entire north. Will probably move everything south, but is the game gonna last that long is the question. Lich is coming, potion used. Happy is trying everything to break this, but no way! Foggy's alive!
Alright, good confidence booster by Foggy. Bit of a risky strategy, going for that all-in, but it can absolutely work out. The Keeper hunts and AP Glaive push can kill an Undead on tier 1, a tier 1 base, absolutely. And then the Keeper is so strong, can move over to the next base. Happy made one very clear mistake in that game. He didn't scout. Normally you want to scout early, see what the Keeper is up to. You see he's coming your way, but you also, more importantly, want to stick around in the main base. See if the Night Elf is teching and look for a Hunter's Hall. If you see a Hunter's Hall and the Night Elf not teching, you know he's going to go all in, so you should give up on the expansion and tech up instead and probably go into Gargoyles. Happy's, I guess, stubbornness finds a way back to haunt him.
Okay. So as we said before, the maps that Foggy usually wins are Echo Isles and Last Refuge. He won Echo Isles and now we go on to Last Refuge to make this a full best of 5 series. Happy showed some flaws on Amazonia before. Also here, not the perfect reaction that we're used to seeing. Foggy, this AP push, as I said, we've seen this before, but here it was way better executed and not as crazy all in as on Twisted. There was no Fire Lord, there was even there was no tier 2, it was just all in pressure as Moon does it, as Sonic does it. That was nice, and yeah, confidence booster. I think that's the most important thing. He knew before about the maps that he has to win, about his maps, and now this worked out beautifully. Right call, right execution, barely lost anything. Now we can start catching up.
And on Last Refuge specifically, as you mentioned, Foggy has had a fairly good win rate against Happy, you know, as good as it can be. And not only with the Keeper, but also with a lot of mass air. Well, I should also say, possibly Keeper mass air, possibly with Alchemist, even in this day nowadays, where we see it so rarely, but also Demon Hunter into Naga into mass air is a strategy we've seen by Foggy on this map a lot, because you can creep the Demon Hunter very reliably, with the camps being pretty easy. There's a lot of Claws camps, a lot of green camps, where the Demon Hunter can level up nicely, get to level 3, control the map. You're not so reliant on Keeper to be able to creep on Last Refuge, but of course with the Keeper it's still a little bit easier. We don't know exactly what the strat or the heroes are going to be, but we're pretty damn sure Foggy's going to try with an expansion here.
Yeah, I think so too. Mass Air is interesting. Does he want to go back to that? As Happy is skipping Fiends in basically every game. Of course, that was a tower rush. He was kind of forced to do it. But if he's not, then he doesn't play Fiends anymore. He's trying to play Gargs, but if you in the very early stage outmass your opponent in air, you might take that game then. Is that maybe a counter to the counter to go mass air for Foggy? It's an interesting thing that he might think about.
Yeah, and there's two ways, of course, to counter mass air, is with either Gargs or Fiends, both an option. Waiting until very late game tier 3 with A-bombs, that perhaps would take too long. A little bit of a bug here, I think we landed on the wrong server. That unfortunately can still sometimes happen, so after a quick rehost, we should be able to provide the best conditions here for our players. 2-1 lead for Happy. Match point still with him. What do you think these players' mental state is right now? Is someone getting nervous? Is someone feeling the pressure?
Well, I think Happy is super annoyed that Foggy took a minute break, and now that this has to be a rehost, Foggy, I don't think he feels it anymore. He has developed a couple of techniques to like reset his mind in these series. He oftentimes takes a little break. He's one of these players who joins lobbies a little later, refocusing, meditating even in super long series. We've seen that before when he's sitting there with his head down, the eyes closed. For Happy, I think, okay, let's go next. There's no emotion, really. There's nothing that bothers him too much.
Yeah. Normally he's in the zone. Normally he doesn't struggle. And I hope we're going to have both of our players here in prime shape. Of course, we all want to see Foggy taking this one here so we can go to TM. We've had quite a few deciding games on TM already. And it's always nice, you know, to go to that big epic map and hopefully have one last big epic showdown. Will we go there? Or not? Well, okay, we're gonna have one more rehost. Sorry about that! Another little bug here, but, you know, third time's the charm. Oftentimes. Foggy. What strategy does he have locked in? What do you think, Neo?
Well, it seems like he completely moves away from MGs.
Yeah, which I find is so weird.
Under any circumstance, he's also not going... He's like completely not going to the very late game anymore. Is he maybe now going for it? I mean, my predictions are so horrible this entire tournament. Why do you even ask me, dude?
Just to get a feel, you know?
Get a feel. I would love to see MGs, man. They seem unbreakable.
I also felt MGs looked really good. MGs with double orb, sometimes maybe even triple orb, if the map is big enough for triple hero.
Last Refuge is one of these maps.
True. However, the thing is, MGs are really best against Fiends. And... you know, funnily enough, also Archer plus Chims, which we saw before by him, is also pretty much best against Fiends and statues and A-bombs and that stuff. But Happy has hardly been playing any Fiends. Where are the Fiends? Happy doesn't play them anymore. He relied on them for years and years and years. But Night Elf seems to have a really good answer to them as one of the few races, really, it seems.
Yeah, I think for the Mountain Giants to work, you need the expansion and you need to hold it for a bit and need a lot of time. That was already super difficult to do against Happy's Fiend build. Now that he switches it up and plays a lot more ghouls, these pushes will hit a lot harder even if you don't go for a Tinker. Ghouls are so much better against buildings than Fiends are, so this might just not work and Foggy might just realize, okay, if he's playing this very build that he's playing recently, my late game tier 3 builds, I can't be that greedy against it. I need a little more mass, a little bit more sustain.
Yeah.
Or he found a way to make it work, like...
I would love to see it. I would love to see him coming up with a brilliant build here now to copy, or not copy, but counter Happy's new style. But it sort of feels like he needed a year to find that build to beat Happy's Fiends. And ever since then, Happy stopped playing Fiends.
Yeah.
So,
and Happy found an answer in like 2 days to that build. It's so crazy.
Kind of, yeah, kind of. Would love to see the next evolution in this matchup. I don't know if Foggy has the answer prepared here against Happy's new style of Expos, A-bombs and Garrigs and Destroyers and so on. Wagons, anything but Fiends really it feels. And I guess Necromancers and Banshees also we haven't seen.
Dude, the day Happy plays a Necromancer, right? That might happen like 2032 or something. I don't think he will ever play a Necromancer. But Foggy switched up his game plan completely also on non-keeper, non-tier 3 maps like Echo. So the genius duo brain of Foggy and Pooh, what did they come up with on LR? Again, match points for Happy. He's aiming for his 4th grand final at DreamHack in a row. He would be meeting Vortex. He could be meeting Hawk. That's going to be the second semi-final that will be presented by Carson and Todd right after this one. But first we have to conclude this, and now everything seems to be fine. We are on the European server where these players belong. Foggy again, fighting for survival, fighting first for game 5. Or will it be Happy who closes this out? Off we go, Remo. Off to the next dance. Will it be the last?
Let's find out. on Last Refuge, one of Foggy's best maps, especially against Happy. You know, against this gargoyle style, expansion style, weird A-bomb and wag and all that stuff, what is actually good against that is old school Demon first, Panda second. But if you play that, you do open yourself up to weaknesses in the mid game. Another approach is Demon Naga with a fast expansion and just overwhelmed with numbers. But Foggy is sticking with his Keeper. He's not going to move away from that here. Of course, on this map, you can't play Warden. That's not going to work. So it was between Keeper and Demon. Keeper is the choice. We are a little bit cursed here on map 4. Seems like now the spikes are back.
Okay. We have seen that on Amazonia before. Seems a little annoyed with that today. We had that in the summer already when Foggy was playing against Cooper in the quarterfinal, I believe, and was having a hard time, and there he was also eliminated by Blade in the semis after, but that was a wild and turbulent time in the Belarus in the late summer. You might remember that. Hope this one will stabilize a little faster.
It's a little inconvenient for us that these hosts and spikes are happening. I hope it's not throwing the players off. That's always the worst thing. If you lose your groove, if you lose your momentum, your concentration, I really hope they can retain that. They're gonna need it to play their best performance here. Yeah, unfortunately, we still have, some server issues here and there. Seems like even more than a year after release, that wasn't quite fixed yet. We have some solutions to that nowadays, but unable to make use of these here, unfortunately. But we're gonna get on the road here shortly.
Maybe for the next season. That would be a wonderful addition. The flow servers of W3 Champions. A wonderful, wonderful community server we got. That got a nice update just yesterday. Season 6 is live with a lot of improvements. Updated map pool once again, updated matchmaking, and amazing servers. So if you want to play on the best servers in the world, W3 Champions is the place to be.
Alright, we've been switching hosts around. Oftentimes that helps the person hosting the lobby, so we're gonna give it another try. Lots of time here to think about the early game for these two, certainly. We've been doing a short dry run over and over.
We're gonna have a rehost again, because Foggy was asking for a second and then the game started, but maybe not. Okay, they start playing, so hopefully everything is fine now. And I really hope Foggy can keep the momentum, or still has that momentum, from Echo Isles, where he said, okay, all my decisions were right, everything I planned was working. And if Happy decides to go for an expansion here, an AP push is also working on Last Refuge, so lots of questions once more. Is it the Keeper? Is it the Tier 3? Is it the Mountain Giants? Is it an expansion? On what side? At what timing? Match points Happy, but Foggy's catching up. Off we go.
I would be quite surprised if Happy tries it with a fast expo again. It is doable on Last Refuge, but definitely a lot harder. Oftentimes easier for the Night Elf to detonate in there and do big damage, and especially base to expansion distance a lot shorter, to enemy expansion that is, so you can attack more often, more easily. And here this map also maybe suits Happy better just tacking up, getting his heroes and creeping, because on LR, tons of creeps, tons of experience, tons of items, tons of good items sometimes to find, and especially with destroyers, by the way, easy to creep as well. We're starting off with a DK, we're starting off with a Keeper. This has not changed.
Not to the slightest. Okie dokie. The timings are, of course, the big questions here, as the build seems to be set in stone at the moment. Happy is scouting a lot earlier. He will see this, but it's the norm. Like, this is the absolute standard for Last Refuge. I mean, Moon played a Murloc creep first earlier today, but there was really no big upside to it, and snares flying. But yeah, the Acolyte threatening the last hit a little bit, but what can it really do except gather information? What's the DK build, I wonder? On Concealed, it was Aura first. Is he gonna play that again?
It sort of could be. You can reliably expect that you're gonna get level 2 here without getting harassed too much with the Claws camp into the Murlocs. But here we do see the coil first. And of course, starting to use that right away to fasten up creeping here. Happy will want to try to not lose as many ghouls as he did on AZ. That really became problematic on map number 1, so perhaps a little bit more mana retention will be a good idea. Good scout here with the Acolyte, by the way. Sees the Keeper moving right away over to the expansion. Somewhat greedy creeping by Foggy, but not going to be getting punished. Happy, just happy to creep on his side of the map and get his own levels.
Okay, Happy aiming for the last hit, trying to get it. But Foggy. With level 2 now, that was important. That would have been a punch in the gut if Happy, just with an Acolyte, just like that, steals level 2. But actually, the Acolyte was causing some trouble. So well played by Happy so far, but no disaster for Foggy at all.
Yeah, looking pretty good. He got the level 2 Keeper, somewhat close to level 3. He opened up the natural, and he teched. Teched a lot faster than Happy, by the way. Surprisingly. Of course, with that Ghoul build, your tech is slower than with the old Happy build, but that build with 4 Ghouls into Fiends, really, I haven't seen from him in a long time. And believe you me, I watch a lot of Happy streams, so it seems like he completely abandoned that style, at least for the time being. Keeper, he's gonna reach a very, very fast level 3 here, isn't he? After the High Priest, he may have it.
Okay, and Happy leaves him alone. Once again, focusing solely on his own progress. Wand of Illusion, we see it again. Moon was suffering quite a bit against that, but I think it's too late to cause great trouble. Or actually, maybe Happy can wake up the mercenary camp if Foggy is not speeding things up. But I guess the level 3 is here, that's the most important thing. And he can retreat if need be. Happy is moving across.
In striking distance to cancel an expansion, if that should be the case, should be coming up, but is not coming up. And of course the illusions here, wonderful to scout all these things out. But the Keeper's looking good. Level 3, high mana, not full mana, but high mana, and waiting for the tier 2 to finish. What's the second tier going to be? Is it going to be Demon Hunter once again? That would be the strongest late game option.
Deals a little bit of experience away. Tier 2, of course, a lot later. Happy with that build, saving some resources. Still has, wait, he's at 26 supply, can't, okay, he has another Ziggurat, so he can go for the second hero. Lots of eyes on the map, this time Foggy expanding. We are here back at the tier 2 expo, and he's distracting again. So, back to an AZ-ish build.
Tier 2 expo, very safely placed. That one is certainly not going to get cancelled, but it's going to take a long time to get over there. Demon Hunter, Keeper, going to be getting surrounded here. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, he has a staff anyways. So, it's okay. Happy lost 1 Ghoul now in this early game, compared to AZ, where he lost 5. So, yeah, it's looking better than AZ, Neo, let me tell you.
And it is the Garg build again that looked really, really, really good on Concealed Hill, but there was no expansion, really, not that early to cancel it. There was just a little bit of creeping and the expansion came way later, and then, of course, the game was over as Foggy donated his Keeper away. Demon Hunter second it is again. So what's the answer?
A town is
to the Gargoyles this time.
Yeah, that doesn't seem to be too good of an answer here yet for Foggy. Double Orb of Venom is one good way to deal with it. Earlier, he only had one, unfortunately. But as you mentioned earlier, this is a really big map, or at least lots of creeps on the map. And that means triple hero could be possible. Panda third could be possible if there's enough space available to creep. Speaking of creeping, Demon Hunter starts off wonderfully here with creeping the Merc right away. That's going to be a fast level 2 for him.
Yeah, on the other side we have Gloves of Haste and Claws for Happy. That's also wonderful. Robe of the Magi for the Keepers. Maybe an Entangle more, as Destroyers are yet to be seen. Will take some time. Foggy's Expo is finished, the tier 3 starts, and we have Nature's Blessing, but he's got to be careful with that Keeper. He has a staff, but is that enough as the Lich is around for another Nova? Seems like it. Just a little chip damage. And it's always good if the Gargs are at the bottom right, because that's the furthest position from the upper left, where Foggy wants to have the expansion.
A player's forces are
Okay, he's playing the Mass Archer style. Alright, the Mass Archer, no Dryads. This is another style that especially Moon was able to play really, really well. This is a hard style to execute. You have to know exactly where to fight, when to fight. It's not like with Dryads, where you're like, oops, this isn't looking good. Now I'm just gonna walk back and I'm fine. If you're stuck out on the map with archers against Frenzy Ghouls, you're gonna lose like 8 of them. So you have to be really smart with your movement and very careful.
Yeah, you can't really overcommit. It's again one of these instances where if you make one mistake, Happy rips your head off. Demon Hunter is not progressing much. This is interesting. Usually the Keeper is harassing alone and the Demon Hunter is creeping, trying to buy time, but maybe that is an indicator that he wants to save some experience on the map for the third hero as Happy transitions into his second crypt.
Now, is he gonna go Ghouls? It would make sense. Or is he just gonna go Gargs against Archers? That would be weird. The counter to Gargs is Archers, whereas the counter to Archers is Ghouls. But maybe Happy hasn't identified yet that it's just Archers. Maybe he's still expecting Dryads to be coming in, but he shouldn't really. By this point in the game, he should have seen Dryads by now if there were to be Dryads coming.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not an engine of lore. He was scouting quite a bit in the north. You know what? I would love to see an Alchemist, actually. Hard to nuke. Acid Bomb is amazing against Ghouls and against Gargs. And compared to Drunken Haze, you can't get rid of it by using Stone Form. And it's a little bit of healing maybe as well, or a little bit of more damage. It's of course not the greatest orb carry. This is the big contra against the Alchemist.
Yeah, with his Archer style, we've also seen a lot of Podem third, who is an okay hero in terms of spells. Not that amazing, honestly, but a great orb carrier, or at least a pretty good one. Book of the Dead here found for Foggy, not very potent against destroyers on the enemy side. And Destroyer Form upgrade will be finished soon.
Can be a good weapon if Happy decides to expand, and he scouts it with a roaming Keeper, just like now. And then he can use the Book of the Dead, even though it's not as good as it once was. It's still able to get a little bit of damage in. Important moments here. Happy is powering up. Tier 3, 50 pop. Foggy is still waiting for the expansion to really pay off. He's at 800 gold as his Tier 3 just finished. Where's Marksmanship? Where's the Tier 3 hero? What is he doing? Bottom.
Alright, here come the Ghouls. Frenzy's upgraded. DK is level 4. These Ghouls are really fast. How's Foggy's positioning gonna be? It's gonna be all about positioning of these Archers and when and how he takes a fight. At the moment, we're at 50-50. Foggy would love to have more supply, would love to have more time, but Happy is gonna come in and strike right now.
Staff is only ready at 5. Keeper doesn't get anything from the shop where he was moving. Demon Hunter's getting greeted with the Coil Nova. This might decide this semi-final if Happy's push goes through. But Foggy is buying time for the Marksmanship, for the Podem. He doesn't want to fight yet. He wants to save every single second he possibly can. Shop, can he use it for another orb? Maybe. No, but for a potion. He's finding himself in a surround. There's the staff on the Keeper, though. Back to the main.
I like that he staffed him out instantaneously, so he didn't have to sip up too much moon juice, because the Demon Hunter was never going to fight out there anyways. Waiting for the Podem. She's out now. She's got the aura, but no orb. Ancient of War falling, also going to limit Archer numbers, but Foggy did a good job draining the mana out of Happy.
Oh, mass mercs coming in as well, but one shot, one kill on both sides. How do you deal with all these Ghouls? Can't get surrounded too much anymore. Keeper is a little bit in a focus fire, but as you said, no nuke. Once again, so much attention on the Lich is already down. Invo Potion popped as well. Destroyer, next one up in the air. Keeper, how can he save himself? Maybe with a TP. He got that. Happy wants to force it. And this is all the attention on the first hero, not at the expansion. And with that, it's still 2 base, 1 base on the cost of, at max, a TP and a couple of Archers.
And the Keeper is buying so much time here. This is wonderful for Foggy. Look at the gold, 800. He's buying a few more items. He certainly needs more potions and probably another orb as well. But this was a great defense by Foggy. He did a really good job with heroes on one side, Archers on the other side. Heroes draining mana, draining spells, and the Archers all survived. Great hold by Foggy.
Look at the production tab, Remo. We will see a Dreadlord at DreamHack. Side jubiling somewhere over in France. Style points for Happy. Is this what's this gonna be? Like Carrion Swarm Nova?
I think it's gonna be Sleep. Sleep the demon, run past him, and don't get mana burned. Or mainly sleep the heroes. Either the demon or the Keeper is what I would expect, but we'll see. Gonna be joining in here soon. Happy at 60 supply. He has around 200 gold. Could go for another heal scroll, and that next attack could again be painful once the Dreadlord joins in.
Foggy needs a little bit more time. Happy was willing to give him more time. Lore's coming, plus the second attack upgrade. Is this finally the MG transition? MG equals GG. Is that true versus Happy as well against all these ghouls?
I'm not even sure that it's that good. The ghouls are so fast, it should be easy to run past the mountain giants. Perhaps just a few dryads might be better, or bears. Even bears. Honestly, all of those are usable. We'll see what Foggy goes for. He certainly needs more army. He needs more supply. And ideally, more orbs of venom. He already got 2, but wouldn't a third one be nice?
You're never satisfied, are you? The entire series, Foggy is at 1 orb. You are screaming for 2 orbs. Now he is at 2 orbs. And you're still complaining, Remo. Jesus.
Always gotta try to maximize, you know? Min-max, min-max, min-max. Happy with the next red camp. Big item for him. Catgus Pipe. Hallelujah.
Oh God, the
Christmas
item hack
came early.
is working again. This could be a creep jack here though, but with what? Level 2 on the Dreadlord, he's probably trying to prevent... Oh my God, this backfires so hard! Happy is not stuck there. Foggy has to take the retreat. But Happy is still at 1 base. Can he play his supply and level advantage now? Or can Foggy recover and transition? He's going for bears once again. The age of mountain giants for Foggy in this matchup is over.
I think he also has to add at least 2 or 3 dryads. This sleep is a serious problem. He has no D-spool in his army at all. And Happy now with the really big force, 68 supply. Happy could just expand himself right now. He should easily be strong enough to hold that.
He's struggling to get the resources, spending everything on army. Little bit of reveal used here. Happy on the opposite side of the map, waiting for Master Bears, completely skips Dryads. This could also be interesting because Foggy is not playing against Dreadlord too often. Is that playing against the sleep a mechanic that he can play on the very, very highest level? Let's see about that.
Is Happy gonna commit for the big fight? Foggy would love to spread some poison over here, drop everything low HP, throw out a couple of burns. But this Demon Hunter is having such a hard time. Dreadlord, the first time in this tournament, looking good.
Looking good indeed. 3 healed scrolls on Happy. Close to level 5 on the DK. It's looking more and more like the 4th grand final for the Emperor in a row. Foggy against the ropes. Happy hits him with jab after jab after jab, and the sleep is wonderful. The Demon Hunter, he's not been woken up. There we go. But the ghouls, man, they're eating these archers alive.
Yeah, it's so hard to take a fight here. The Keeper getting nuked. He needs to be so careful. Heal potion barely enough to get him out of there. Keeper, of course, squishy. So is the Potom, but the Demon Hunter is just disabled, and it's an overwhelming mass. Neo, look at the 70 supply. I'm not sure if Happy lost anything yet. I don't think he did. He can go for the hero focuses now. Now that the army is so small, he can run after the heroes as he does here for the Demon Hunter. He just has to run away. He's making it to the Moonwells, healing up a little bit more. There's a mana potion, invul potion still left. But where's the damage? It's only orbs of venom for Foggy, nothing else. He's getting the Keeper nuked as well. The first hero hits the deck, the Potom in trouble as well. Sleep after sleep coming in. That's going to be a surround, and perhaps the next hero kill.
And maybe the double Gs as well. Town Portal on the Demon Hunter. Foggy is trying everything to stay somewhat alive in this semi-final, but it's looking grim, it's looking dire. Punch after punch after punch is hitting his face. Acolyte now for Happy. Backup plan. Even if Foggy's not tapping out, this will be the second base for Happy after this. And more Moonwells are falling. More and more regen is gone. And he's soon to be supply blocked. This expo never really paid off. And Nova sitting the archers. They are not wearing a cold. Oh my God, a wonderful surround. And that is no staff. That's another sleep. GG!